This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview.
Joining us today is Mike Friedman, the head of IR for Zenova Group PLC, following news that the company has received the PFAS-free certification with independent tests in the USA confirming that the Zenova FX extinguisher fluids are compliant with EU standards and regulations for PFAS, positioning Zenova FX as environmentally friendly. Well, thank you very much for joining us today, Mike. How are you? And first of all, how are you feeling on this news that you've been able to announce?
Well, I'm feeling well and I'm feeling excited. So it's a nice combination and great to be back.
Indeed. Well, just talk me through some of this, the significance of this, the PFAS. These are also known as the forever chemicals,
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, the certification or the designation combined with our recent announcement on, as you said, EN3 certifications, which are multiple groupings for different material types, establishes us where, as we've said in the releases, in a position where we believe genuinely that we have the only product on the market, fire interdiction product, fire extinguisher product on the market, which is both multiple EN3 material compliant and, as you say, forever chemical compliant. We'll see. I think we're going to show a video in a minute, and you'll see how little, on top of the fact that we produce output from our fluid, as you say, PFAS compliant material, which is environmentally friendly. We also produce very little excess as we put out various types of fires.
Sure. Okay. Well, let's have a look at this video then, because this was you demonstrated, didn't you, to industry experts
Yes.
at an event there, fire industry experts, the actual demonstration of the extinguisher. So if we just run that video now, and then we can perhaps just see how maybe you can talk us through what's happening.
Best I can, sure. So I think that's the largest testing tank you can have. That's a diesel fire that's being attacked. You can see the magic working. If that seems an extraordinary performance for a difficult fire, it is. And as you can see, as I said previously, there's very little excess from the fluid that has reached the ground. On top of that, on top of the speed and the lack of output from the chemicals onto the ground, etc., we also used roughly, or that firefighter used roughly 2/3 of a tank, which is also very relevant. Right, and then the one thing you can't see is the dramatic decline in temperature from something in excess of 400 or 500 degrees Fahrenheit down to something on small double digits at surface, which then of course minimizes reignition risk. So it's a soup to nuts product. If it looks too good to be true, it isn't. And we demonstrated it through, as you said, an industry expert, which is a cornerstone now of our sales strategy going forward. So very relevant video that more people need to see. So very excited about that.
Indeed. And this, just on the PFAS, this really, is that the last sort of certification that the product perhaps needed to be able to get into the market in Europe? I know you already had the sort of other certification from the EU, but this does this really open the door completely?
Well, in the previous, we had an announcement this morning, which I'll discuss briefly, but in the previous RNS, we combined both this video and a breakthrough order in Germany, which is what I think you're referencing. And that is coincident with, yes, PFAS certification, as well as the EN3 certifications. Today, we had a similar order. We're calling it a pre-order because it's in the UK, and the UK product needs a kite mark and some other paperwork done so that we can affix it to the label. But it's very similar, the process through which we achieve the order, which is through a major industry consulting group that will then go on to use the sample lot of 100 extinguishers to distribute to their clients. We think that's very exciting prospect. I think that on the basis that's going to become more and more common, as we say in today's announcement, as fire interdiction and fire prevention processes become not just important, but critical to large-scale building planning. And increasingly, we're expecting more construction companies and other relevant institutions to start hiring these consultants. And it's these consultants that we can work through to demonstrate what we demonstrated in that video. And we don't think it's a coincidence we've gotten this initial order in the UK and we've broken through in Germany. It's a very, very exciting time for the company.
Well, you had, yes, as you mentioned, those 100 initial order for the extinguisher in Germany, but then also, of course, the other 100 unit order for Bells and Two Tones, who are a company who distribute to clients in film and television, don't they?
That's
right.
I
mean, this also, I know this is about the fire extinguishers, but of course, they could tie into the paint as well. Obviously, you know, the paint on film sets, for example.
You're very good at your job, Mark. I'm very pleased. That's a great lead-in. Thank you. When I joined the company, right around that time, some months ago, we did a demonstration at one of the major studios here in the UK for a major film and television studio, in fact, who were present with the paints. And there was a similar wow factor to that demo. And film sets, of course, they're in the news these days. Fire prevention, fire issues are paramount. Insurance companies are seeing to that. Regulators are seeing to that. And so, yes, in fact, the paint had a similar demonstration. I don't think we had a video of it at the time.
Okay. Well, just finishing off, Mike, this is the last week before Christmas, before the end of the year, really. It seems, just following the Zenova story, the sort of latter half of 2023, that, you know, you've really made some quite significant milestones. You've got the partnership with Dulux there for the paint. You've got now your certifications here for the FX. You've got two, you know, initial orders, small, but presumably they're a sort of a test order that then, if the companies like them, they would hopefully order more. What are you hoping to achieve throughout 2024? Is it sort of ramping up, more of the same?
Yeah, look, I think we're going to be very present in the market in terms of news and updates, RNS reaches, RNSs, more of these videos, and more connection increasingly. Okay. We expect to have a lot more to say. I've hinted at a sales strategy which is codifying at the company, which is going to combine a traditional bottom-up, like with Dulux, and a top-down, especially on the extinguishers, where we demo to industry experts who then advise end clients. Those end clients are largely material. We're talking about installed bases of what we are estimating or averaging, rule of thumb, of about 5,000 extinguishers at about 50 quid a pop. So we're looking at that type of client entree through these industry experts whom we are winning over clearly. Look, by the way, please go back to today's RNS and read the quote from the industry expert who did the film and TV demo. It is a rave, and those are not easy quotes to get, as you probably know. Anyway, back to that rule of thumb. So we're looking at an average client that we're going to be attacking through this very cost-effective means of industry experts of about £250,000 to replace their entire installed base, and then, of course, upgrading it going forward. So we're looking at a very material impact on the extinguishers. As you say, we're already installed with Dulux, and we're expecting to update the market in the new year on that as well.
Indeed, and at some point, I would hope the company would be able to release their interims or something to really, demonstrate in black and white the actual numbers that the company is achieving, and maybe what they hope to achieve in, going forward, forward-looking statements.
Yeah, of course, and that'll be coming in Q1 of next year as well, I believe.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for your time today, Mike Friedman, the head of IR for Zenova Group PLC, and we'll catch up again in the new year.
We'll see you soon, Mark. Thanks.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.